Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we are not on video this time, and I'm really sad about this.
It's not my fault.
It's not your fault. It's your car's fault.
Kind of.
Because your car can't hold all of the equipment for all of your various...
For all the things.
For all the things at once.
I mean, you saw the ladder. It was pretty shoved up in there.
It was.
There really is a ladder in there.
Your car your car looks like my car when I come back from an IKEA run.
How do you get DJ speakers that big from IKEA?
You'd be surprised, man. End tables.
Hmm.
End tables is the answer.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
You're an IKEA fiend.
I am an IKEA fiend. I was actually at Eric's, Eric from Adventure Park. I was on his podcast set. He was talking about like, oh yeah, we've got this like one cabinet thing in the corner. We're thinking maybe getting another one. We're trying to find something that kind of matches it. And I was like,
adding.
But I was like, oh yeah, that's the Kallax from IKEA. And he was like, you just looked at it. And you knew then you weren't even just like, oh, you know that's from IKEA. You knew the name of it. And he looked it up live and he was like, oh my God, you're right.
he's like, man, you have a problem.
I'm practically a Swede.
Wow.
Is what they say. But yeah, I'm disappointed that we can't show the video version of this time.
Yeah.
Because our setup is something special.
It's yeah. You're using a massive boom arm.
I am. It's a boom arm that I normally use for like shotgunning interviews. So it's supposed to go like over people's heads.
Yep.
But I have to have it at like sitting level to mouth level for me for my mic. So it's at like a 45-degree angle down. And actually yours isn't too far off.
Mine is more like a mic standy, but
it's still taller than it's still, I think, technically a boom arm of some kind. Or like it's meant for like standing performance stuff.
Yeah,
I honestly don't know
that
where
would make sense.
I don't know where I got this stand from.
It's a nice stand other than the fact that it needs I won't call it a sandbag because there's rocks in there. It needs a rock bag to counterbalance with this super, super heavy microphone.
Oh, yeah. So heavy.
Yeah. I tightened that little thing up so tight. It's not even funny.
Yeah.
And it still wanted to sag. So
yeah, it's a little janky.
The stand's nice though. It looks pretty heavy duty.
It is. I think I could probably take the boom arm off of it and use it as a light stand.
Yeah, it kind of looks like it has an attachment or something there.
Yeah, they're fairly modular.
Yeah, but yeah, it's pretty janky. And the Podcast Pro thingamajigger is on the couch.
Yes.
Yeah. So we're in the same set as last time.
Yeah.
Just no video.
Just no video.
Yeah.
And honestly, like
we upgrade every time. Now we have no video.
It's always we never said it would upgrade. We said it would change. It's always a little bit different.
We did. It's always different. Well, hopefully, as things finally start to slow down just a little bit over the next couple of weeks, we can have a studio space that is set and ready to go.
Yes. And now, Brian, tell us why things have been so hectic and crazy for us, and will probably continue to be for a while.
I was thinking about what we're about to talk about, right? And I looked over in the corner and I was like, there's our hidden Easter egg still sitting there from a video that we created just recently. It's still sitting there on the shelf. And so over the past couple weeks, right? Last week's episode, we almost
you almost
jumped the gun on that one.
Which like not that it's been like it's not like we're under like an NDA or anything,
right?
Of like, oh no,
unless I signed something I didn't know, that's what it was. Maybe
you never know. I could have slipped something in there.
Well, I think as we were going through all this paperwork and stuff for the thing that we haven't announced just yet, but we're about to here shortly, I told you, and I think we had the conversation. I told you, I was like, I never read what it says. There's just no, I don't know. My brain just can't just look at that paper and read the crazy words that some of these people say. And I'm like,
legal speak is a completely different language.
But you told me the story about Kate's thing and the move-in date and all that. And I was like, maybe I should read into stuff.
So I am very much like, I'm kind of like you. I will, like, with legal documents, I skim I make sure that like I'm reading like the headlines. I'm picking out like what I think is the important stuff.
Yep.
I don't read them word for word most of the time.
Yeah.
So
the words that I know, like in those headlines,
Yeah.
like, I don't know, I can't think of one right now, but like I'll be skimming through it and a headline will be like start date or something, you know, like
Yeah,
I'll be like, yep, that's that's right.
yeah, that's a date.
Yep.
That seems like a right
That's
date.
that's the right year. So, you know.
But
Yeah.
but it being the right year. So when Kate and I, my wife, were getting a house, which like the most paperwork you will ever do in your life is when you do a mortgage.
Boy.
It's insane.
Can't wait.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, it's worth it, but my
As long as it's not 15% interest by then.
Yeah, seriously. We were lucky. This was back when it was like in the 3s.
Dang.
I know, man. Those were the days. Well, it was middle of COVID, so I shouldn't be too.
And this, you could probably get an evaluation on your house, and it's probably significantly more than what you bought it for.
At this point, probably.
Yeah.
But when we
very
were going
nice.
through all that paperwork, it already takes a long time. It took us even longer because my wife, Kate, is the type of person to read through every single word. And like,
Which is not a bad trait.
It's not a bad trait at all.
Not a bad trait.
And like, if there's anything that she was unsure about or like anything like that, she would ask questions.
Yep.
And which is great. And then meanwhile, you know, I'm just like, because we both needed to sign, I would just be like, okay,
you
pass.
already signed it. And she's like,
No, we changed it. So she would sign first. And then once she signed, I knew I was good to sign.
You're good to go.
So I didn't even need to read it. But she told me about a story of the reason, and I told you this story too.
Yep.
The reason that she did it is because she has had a couple of experiences where, like with rental agreements and stuff, where she caught things in the paperwork that were horrendously wrong.
Yeah. That's
Like subtle thing, not like, oh, they misspelled this thing, nothing like that, but like things that are subtle differences if you're reading it and could be very easily overlooked but are hugely significant, like your move-in date being in the wrong year.
Yeah, that could be a big problem.
Yeah. So she's very good about making sure that is not.
Wonder what they would do at that point.
I mean,
do you think they would amend it and be like, oh, it's actually this day? Or do you think they'd be like, oh, nope, you're moving in?
They would probably, I would imagine they would have to amend it, but like,
I don't know if they have to.
They would want to, I would assume.
Maybe.
But like, honestly, who knows?
Yeah.
That's why you make sure that it's right before you sign it, I guess.
But yeah, we've been cooking up some cool stuff in the background. And the most, honestly, what took the most energy was waiting for most of it. Like that, honestly, like that's...
There's been a lot of hurry up and wait.
Yeah. Like I feel like through the whole process of what we've been doing, it's just been like we've created a bunch of cool things, right? I haven't said it yet.
No.
We've created a bunch of cool things, a bunch of cool assets, a bunch of cool content. And none of that like compared to the amount of effort it took to wait.
Yeah. It's been it has been a challenge. Yeah.
And it is essentially, I would think, real now, essentially.
I mean, at this point,
it's not there yet.
It's not quite there yet. It's like, but it's basically real.
It's basically there. We have stickers.
We have stickers. We have business cards.
Basically a website.
And at this point, anyone listening to this, if you haven't figured out what this is yet with those hints, then
you're the problem.
think about it. Go into the corner, think about it for a minute, and then come back to
write
us.
all these notes down and come to your conclusion that way. But we'll give you a second. Go ahead, walk to the corner.
Yeah. You feel good? You feel good about your answer?
Yeah, hopefully.
How much you wagering?
At least 1,000 points for this one.
Do they have 1,000 points?
I don't know. If they didn't get it yet, I don't know. I have a feeling that they would not have 1,000 points right now.
Probably not. No offense. We love you guys. But
yeah.
Anyway, the analogy has been beaten to death.
Yep.
The big announcement is, drum roll.
Do we have a drum roll on here?
No, it's all like
we have an applause. Wait,
it's all weird applause.
Which one is it? This one.
Uh,
Nope, that's Bluetooth.
No, it's the far right one by the. So that one's
this
up.
one does it.
Yes.
Oh, it's not like a master volume. Oh, that's for the soundboard.
That is for the soundboard.
Duh.
Yes.
Okay. Which one's this?
That's the audience saying,
I don't have headphones. Sorry.
Oh yeah, no, that's the disappointed one.
Oh.
That's the audience being like, oh my god, they still haven't said it. That's more like a concert hall clap.
Okay.
That's piano recital clap.
What's the green one?
Oh, that's excitement. That's like, oh, what is coming up? Golf clap.
Okay, there's the golf clap. Okay. So, as it ends here,
we're out.
We are officially partnering up. Me, Brian Monday, and Cameron Harris are partnering up, and we have created a company, a partnership that will be doing the next evolution of what we've already been doing separately.
Yes.
Which is video production, content creation, social media management, web design, branding. What else?
Those are the big things.
So those are the core.
At least for now. Like it's gonna continue to expand.
We'll evolve. And we have some really, really, really cool stickers upstairs that you just showed me.
Yes, we do. The most important thing.
And the name of it is
Purple Donut Studios.
Purple Donut Studios.
Which the branding kind of like, I won't say it quite makes itself, but there is some good visuals.
When you see the logo and you hear the name for the first time, you can't forget it.
Yeah.
Because then you'll see the logo and be like, that is a donut.
Yeah.
And it is purple. And there is the association.
Yeah. It is very memorable because people have asked us multiple times because we've started like kind of soft launching this. Like we've been to all of our networking things. Yeah. Networking. Yeah. And every time we say Purple Donut Studios, there's always that kind of look of like, why?
Yeah.
And then oftentimes the actual question of why? And and the answer is really like we wanted something that was super memorable, that worked really well with branding, where we could like
separate from our names.
Exactly. Because
completely separated.
My thing has been Harris Makers.
Your mine's always been Monday this, Monday that, Brian Monday this. Yep. So
because when it's just you, like it makes sense. Like you are your own brand. But this is something that is going to be, it is beyond just, it's certainly beyond us as individuals.
Yeah.
And I mean, eventually we'll be beyond us collectively too.
Yep. That's the goal with it. So we went with the most fun part probably this whole time was that I can remember right now is like the going through the names and being like, how about this? Oh, how about that? Oh, how about this? You know, we had a lot of inspiration from other brands. And we had, what was the one that we were pretty confident in? And then it was like, I came to you, you were like, dude, I love this one. How about this? And then I came to you and I was like, you know, I love all the ideas that we've been thinking of, but I've been thinking about it more. And what if we can use the name as the brand completely? Like that is it. When you say the name, the branding behind it is in parallel.
Yeah.
You know, like Monday Technical, it's an M with a blue triangle in the corner. Nobody knows what that is.
Yeah.
Harris Makers was an H with a triangle in it, right?
Why did we both do that?
I don't know. We have something with triangle. We got triangle in this one too. So
that's right. Well, I mean, it was that was intentional. Like the triangle for us was like for Harris Makers, it was like emulating a play button.
Yeah.
And that's what we're doing with this one too.
Yep.
To like tie in the media stuff.
Yep.
But it's a lot more playful and a lot more obvious with this one. But I remember the name that we had almost landed on. It was Can't Stop Creative.
Can't Stop Creative. Yeah. And we were both like, yeah, that's tough. Like it's gritty, like it's kind of tough. But then we were like, well, we're back at the same square that we were with our own businesses.
What does the branding look like?
What does the branding look like?
Because it's still just words.
Just words. So you'd have to create a CSC or whatever it would have been logo, and we could have. We could have
made it look cool. But
yeah.
You really liked the idea, and I think it was the right idea of having something that like had imagery to it. You were talking about having a logo that was like you could just see the logo
and you'd know.
You didn't need text with it. Like the Apple logo. You don't need to see the word Apple next to it. You know what that is.
You already know. And they plaster that on the back of all their devices. So it's when you see somebody at the coffee shop with that device, because they make there's Lenovo's that look just like MacBooks. but they don't have that Apple logo.
What does the Lenovo logo look like? I think it's just the
word
Lenovo.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah. But you know, that is where I felt super strong. I was like, the name is great. Can't Stop Creative, blah blah blah.
It sounded good.
Sounded good, but I couldn't figure it out in my head. So Kate was texting through your phone while you guys were driving down to
DC.
DC, yeah. Yep.
Because I was driving, and anytime I'm driving, if I have a text that I need to like keep the conversation going, Kate just takes over for me.
So that means I'm important. So the conversation kept going, right? And figures. And phone rang. I totally thought I did Do Not Disturb, but it's whatever. And essentially through Kate, Cam and I were having a conversation. I was just like I feel like we need to have something that just speaks branding, like branding as a whole, as a collective. You see the sticker or the logo or something, doesn't need to have the words attached to it.
Yep.
And so it's recognizable. And I think we threw out a couple words or this and that. And then Kate was like, what about donut? I was like, okay. Like at first I was like, it's unique.
I was not sold on the donut at first.
I know you weren't.
She had mentioned the word donut to me like the night before or something like that. And I was like, donut, like, I don't know. That doesn't feel right.
Yep.
Like that doesn't feel like it doesn't have the oomph. It didn't like make sense to me.
Yeah. Yeah. And at that point I was like, that could be really cool. Like in my head, I was like, that could be really cool. So I started, I said back, I was like, well, we need to add something that describes the donut, because it can't just be Donut Studios or Donut Media, because I told you about the car guys that I watched, love Donut Media stuff. They're incredible. There was no inspiration off of their stuff or anything like that, except for the fact that Donut was a cool name, like a great name. So we were throwing words like sprinkled donut. What was another one?
You said warm donut.
Warm donut. Yeah. Like and it wasn't like for me to be like, this is the one I want. It was just throwing words. We were just throwing
stuff
words
at the wall. Yeah.
And then we can look back at the text, but I don't even remember where purple came from.
We were on a call. Because we were texting a bunch, and
because Kate wasn't in the conversation at that point, and you were like,
Kate off, and I was just hanging out in DC before a shoot, so I had like a few hours before my shoot call time, and so I was just like sat on a bench, somewhere in DC, and we called for a while, and we were just throwing stuff out, and then we were talking about we had talked about like the color that we wanted, and purple was one of the colors we had wanted, And we liked that because like both of us actually had gone with our previous brands, Harris Makers and Monday Technical, both used kind of a purple.
Yeah.
So we were thinking like, okay, yeah, purple could make a lot of sense.
Yeah. So we mashed the words together and we both got super excited about the name. And then it came down to Kate was working really hard, so she couldn't answer the question of, hey, is this good? She for a little while.
It took her like a solid half hour to respond, but when she did,
felt like forever.
It did, but when she did, she was like, I love that, and was like, I already can see. So when the logo starts going wide, which it should very shortly,
we'll pair it with a couple of like, I guess we could put this episode as like a purple donut picture, because we could change the picture of the episode if we want to.
Yeah.
So if you see the episode image, that is the logo. If you clicked on this link through like a Facebook share or Instagram or something like that, the logo is attached for sure. Like we'll make sure of that.
Oh yeah. And like as you're listening to this on the day it goes live, website is probably not live yet, but should be very shortly.
We're almost there.
We're very close.
Yeah, we just have to. What do we have? Just tighten up the reel.
It's really just the reel and like.
And we're pretty close. The reel looks incredible.
Yeah, I'm excited to get that pushed out.
You add a couple of things that I was saying, like in those couple spots.
Yeah,
I think it's like the whole thing around the donut was right, and this circles all the way back to people being like, "Why'd you pick the donut?" Is like. We wanted to show off a brand that was unique and cool and that kind of a thing, but we also wanted to show that we don't take it all so seriously, you
Yeah.
know, like we're not Hollywood directors that it's this way or the highway, you know, like we're that was the other one, two creative dudes.
That's right.
That was like the first one we thought of.
That's right.
That's funny that I was just about to say two creative dudes, but we're literally just two creative dudes doing this and doing what we love and trying to do it at a high premium level.
Yeah.
And we've already booked things.
Yeah.
We aren't even officially at it. We've booked things, and you know, it's just a testament to our ability to network and the product and service that we can deliver.
Yeah. Well, and the thing that was so exciting to me about the idea of this, which, full disclosure, this was your idea.
Which was my idea.
Yeah. Literally, it was.
Where were we?
We were at the Wiser Studios.
Yeah.
We had literally just recorded episode 1 of this podcast.
Yeah.
And we
were
were
in
like,
the parking lot, weren't we?
We were like in the hallway.
Yeah. Yep.
So we were like wrapping up and all that stuff. And you mentioned, I forget how you phrased it exactly, but I was talking about like Harris makers and what I was looking to do. And I was like, yeah, I'm looking to like, I really want to like start like kind of expanding my client base and get to more people and all that stuff.
Yep.
And we
were having a business discussion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you mentioned basically like, yeah, I think like you and I can totally do cool stuff separately, but like if we were to combine forces, I think we could do a lot more, a lot faster.
Yep.
And that really just like set off, that was a spark in my mind.
Yeah. 'Cause I remember you instantly being like, that's a good idea. Like, I'd be okay with that. And I was like, I really didn't think, like, not that I didn't want it to happen. I was like, I didn't really think he'd be okay with it like that quickly. Right.
Well, it wasn't even something on my mind.
Yeah.
Like, never had I considered that. And I think part of it was I had never considered it before I met you, because frankly, I didn't know, I had never met anyone that I really would have felt like, oh yeah, I could see like being not like just working. I have people that I'd be like, yeah, I could totally see working with these guys, like, in a creative format and bringing them on as like, you know, shooters, editors, whatever. But someone who I was like, I feel like I've got a good enough connection with this person and we're on the same wavelength that we could like be making business decisions as well as creative decisions together.
Yep.
I had just never known of anyone who like fit that that's a very specific puzzle piece shape that needs to fit into place.
And I think we've melded together pretty well, like in the sense of balancing each other's, they're not even weaknesses, just balancing or working off of each other's strengths and then building our strengths up because of it, you know?
Yeah.
Because we have our roles, we have our strengths, and the whole reason behind the podcast was the fact that we would just sit there and talk, and then you would be teaching me things and I'd be learning from you. And then, you know, we're like, why don't we just do this as a podcast? So it started as a podcast.
Yeah.
And here we are, episode 6 or 7 or something like that. I don't even remember anymore.
Something.
I just post it and let it go.
Yeah.
But I've learned so much in the past month and a half of doing the podcast that I like, it made the decision of actually doing a partnership that much easier.
Yeah.
Because we bounce off of each other so well. And if we think one thing should be one way and the other person is like, what about something like this? You know, it might be completely different what we were thinking. It just starts to make sense. And like, there's that like trust factor in it being like, yeah, it's a good idea. Like there's no ego into it, you know, which is a very, very refreshing thing about it is we're both trying to obtain a very similar goal, right?
Mm-hmm.
Provide for our families, you know, produce high quality products, you know, have a great network of people and take care of our people and stuff like that.
Yeah. And
there's no battle there. Like we're in the battle together. Like that's like the feeling with it. So it's like, that's how that's why I was stoked to do it in general.
Yeah. It was funny. We had we were having dinner with one of Kate's coworkers the other night, and we were talking a bit about about the partnership. And one of the things that she asked was, have you guys had like conflict yet? Or like, do you know how you guys are going to handle like conflict between the two of you? And I had to think about it for a minute because I was like, we kind like when you say that, it's like, oh, have you guys gotten into a shouting match over something yet? Like, that's kind of like the visual I have. And I'm like, no, we have not had anything that I would classify as quote unquote conflict.
Yeah.
But we have had things that, like you're saying, where it's like we have had different ideas, and we've had to kind of like, you know, we're coming at it from different perspectives. We've got different ideas of how things should be that could have very easily turned into conflict.
Yeah, if we were pieces of trash.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah. But they just haven't.
Yeah.
You know, and like this is something that like Kate and I have talked about with like, we've got friends who will talk to us about like, you know, oh, you guys seem like you're like a great couple. Like you probably never fight. And it's like, oh no, we absolutely do. The difference is how we fight.
It's how you fight and how you handle it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which like for you and I, like, again, like I wouldn't classify anything we've done so far as fighting, but the communication has been really good.
Yeah.
We know
very clear.
Yeah. Like we both, I think a lot of the time we both know where the other stands on something before we even need to have the conversation. And then when we do have the conversation, it's like, okay, if we're coming at it from two different sides, it's less of a, okay, who's going to win?
Yeah.
And more of a, okay, is there like a middle ground or like another option that kind of combines elements of both? And I think it ends up being, what we're doing ends up being so much better for it.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. The way we handle those things for sure. Because when it comes from like a creative side of things, if it's a editing, you know, framing, like that type of thing, I guess, like we both have come to forming a collective, creative eye for all of it, right? Like like shooting some of the stuff for the Cars and Coffee stuff and stuff like that. Like we could see both of our styles of shooting shining through.
Yeah.
And then it's like they pair well in certain things. Like for Cars and Coffee, the majority of the shots in that video were your shots. But we have a lot of the shots that I took that are going into our reel now, you know? So it's like me not being egotistical and be like, oh, camera, why'd you not use all my shots in this video and this and that, you know? But
well, and it's kind of like the opposite of, we were talking one of the other episodes, we were talking about our styles of shooting.
Yeah. Yep.
And we were talking about the first wedding we did. And that was a similar thing of like, you were the one cutting that. You used mostly your shots. Mine were a small percentage, but they were in there as like the extra little flavor things. So that's kind of what yours were. So part of it, I think, also depends on like the wedding content. You've done a lot more wedding content than I have.
Yeah.
And you also were the one editing it. So like so you have that eye. And of course the stuff that you shoot, you already have that vision in your head.
I planned it in my head. Yeah. And it's the same way. But that's the thing that, you know, we could totally disagree on and fight about it if you wanted to. But
no, I'm good.
Oh, good. Okay. But I'm just like, yeah, looked good. Like, you know,
it ended up looking great.
Yeah. I had no problems with any of it.
And then you think about the shoot that we did, which this video probably won't be out when this podcast first comes out, but it's going to be like our kind of announcement video when we go fully live, which is super cool.
Yeah.
But that was something we very much shot together. Like the wedding.
Yeah.
I think part of the difference is when we did the wedding or when we did Cars and Coffee, that was each of us, we each had a camera and we worked together on it, but we kind of went off and like covered different stuff, and we're both just like looking out for shots on our own, because like in an event, that's kind of what it just kind of makes more sense that way, because then you've got two people who can be in two different places at once. So if something big happens in the moment,
if I miss it, you make it. If you miss it, I made it.
Exactly. So we weren't like, you know, joined at the hip for the wedding night or the Cars and Coffee day, being like, oh, let's work together on this one shot.
Yeah. But our launch video,
we shot that was more of a kind of like studio environment where it wasn't like we weren't doing event coverage. We were doing it in a you know, in a studio style environment where we were
completely controlled,
and we only had one camera going at the time, but we had it fed out to a big monitor off in the corner,
so that we could see how framing was and color and all that good stuff.
And so in that case, we were able to be super collaborative on it, of like, you know, oh, I think this should be a little bit tighter, and you think it should come over a little bit this way, and like that. I think part of the reason that video is so exciting for both of us is that that's a true,
it already looks so cool.
It already looks so
already
good.
So great,
and it's a true amalgamation of both of our styles.
Yep,
which work really well together, I think.
Yeah, I think so too. Which is why we're here. We're representing Purple Donut Studios. This is our thing, our new baby.
Yeah.
We've already got work coming, which is awesome. We've already made a network of people that are super supportive of what we're doing.
Yeah.
You know, a few people are like, finally, like we knew that this was happening, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, pretty cool stuff.
Everyone I've talked to, and like some of you may be listening, and so for those of you who I reached out to with like that announcement thing and offered your congratulations and your advice, thank you so much. We both really appreciate it. But everyone has been really, really excited about it.
Oh yeah.
And I think it's because a lot of people, I mean, a lot of our network of people are at least they're close enough to the industry, if they're not in the industry themselves, that they understand how much of a difference it is going from basically sole proprietorship to a partnership.
Yep.
Like the amount of, it is just incredible how much of a difference it is to be like, you've got two people working on something in tandem.
Oh yeah. Like and it's not even the fact that the workload, quote unquote, I did air quotes and you can't see it, but it's not like the workload is cut in half.
No,
it's like the strength behind the workload has doubled, you know?
Yeah.
Where it's like, if there's something that you may have a question about, or you want somebody to review or something like that, you know, it's a no-brainer that we come together and say, hey, how's this? Or how about this? Or what's your thought on this? And it just runs, I don't know, it just feels like it's running smoother versus like a project that we create, then we send it to a client and the client's like, you know, you could have, maybe, I don't know what it is, but you know, we could do something. And you're like, okay, something. All right, let's do something, you know?
We have not been like that with each other yet.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm pretty, as you already know, I'm pretty easygoing and straight to the point. As it's not, I don't even think it's a fault. It's just like,
no,
it's just how I am, and I feel like it works really well.
100%.
You always need somebody like that in your life.
And like you were saying, like, I think it is kind of fair. It sounds harsher than it should, but to say that we really like complement each other's weaknesses. So like weakness is not.
Yeah, it's not the right word.
It's too strong of a word. But like there are things that both of us are really, really good at, and there are things that we are both like still kind of working on, I think is more how I would phrase it. And those overlaps for us have been, they've just kind of like meshed together really, really well. And then there's some stuff that are, you know, we are both still figuring out.
How to use DaVinci Resolve.
That is a big one.
We haven't got there yet. But
we haven't got there yet. We've been
I
busy.
downloaded it. I've downloaded it, so I'm ready to dive in.
Yeah, one of these days.
Yeah. Well, yeah, like the whole moral of what we were saying is like, I guess moral, the circle back, whatever you want to call it, is like the partnership is finally, we said it last time, is finally getting to the finish line so that we can hit the starting line and start going. But we've already found a pretty solid rhythm with everything.
Yeah. Because we're still doing stuff like the podcast is a good example of that.
Yeah.
That has been a weekly thing for us.
Yep.
Nonstop, basically. We've been going on each other's shoots and being brought in on each other's projects, and these other, building this brand.
Yeah.
Has been
the brand is the branding. Kate did an incredible job with the logo and the colors and the whole thing.
Yeah.
I still never got my survey, which is fine. That's an inside joke.
We ended up coming up with a good idea before she could get the survey
I
to
know.
us.
The idea
That's
was
the
so
thing.
good that she couldn't even survey us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Still disappointed, but it's fine.
You can get your we'll get you for your birthday. We'll get you
There we go.
We'll get you a
Now
survey.
you got to
for
figure
your
out when my birthday is.
Oh, I knew it.
Yep.
This is why I'm
going to tell Dallas that you can't ask her.
Man, she'll tell
She
me
can't
anyway.
tell you.
She'll tell me.
She
anyway.
would, yeah. Just look on Facebook. It's on Facebook. It's fine.
There you go.
But yeah, that's what's taken all of the energy is the branding portion and like waiting for the lawyers and tax stuff and like figuring all that stuff out. But now we're ready to just hit the ground running with marketing and posting and creation and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So
it's very exciting. And I've been getting like, I think I said the other, like last week, I think I said, I've been feeling just like nervous energy in a good way of like, oh, come on, let me at him. Let me at him. Like,
let's go.
Like get these ropes off me. I just want to run for it.
Yep.
And I mean, like you said, we've got stuff that's being booked and like,
yep.
There's
as
a lot
Purple Donut.
As Purple Donut.
Yeah.
And there's more and more stuff that's coming up. Everything from marketing stuff to like expanding the website.
Yep.
And, just so many more new projects, and they're projects that I would not have been able to do myself.
Yeah.
So like,
yeah.
it's stuff.
Same. Yeah.
It's stuff that I would have like when we first started like hanging out really like regularly.
Yeah.
The idea of partnership of like this kind of partnership did not cross my mind until you brought it up. But I was thinking of it from a standpoint of like, oh, I could bring this guy in for like, if I need like,
he can work for me.
not from that idea, not like a work for me type thing, but like if I needed,
I don't know.
I mean, since I started this thing, I've kept a list in my head of people I know who I would trust enough to bring in and like work on content on client work with me, that I would trust to do a good job and I wouldn't have to babysit and like, I just know you're going to do good work.
Yeah.
That list of people is very small.
Wow.
Like,
in my experience in client work is not as detailed as you would think.
I mean, I know that, but
my wedding work is fine, you know?
their wedding work is really good, but
Thanks.
like, I think,
But if I have questions or you have creative, what's the word? Creative direction, I guess. Constructive criticism, but there's a different word for it. I listen, and then I that's just how I do it from then on, you know?
listening is really good. But I mean, the biggest thing that like, as soon as I started seeing like the stuff that you had done, like when I started seeing some of the wedding stuff that you had done previously, I immediately could tell like, oh, you've got a good eye for this.
Thanks.
Like your instincts with this are like spot on. Like, even if it's something like, oh, you've never like shot this kind of thing before, but I know that if you just like point your camera at it, you're going to figure out how to make it look good in that moment.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. Like that is something that is.
That's why we're going to shoot movies together one day.
One day.
What was that movie? Fall Guys?
Oh, Fall Guy.
Fall Guy.
Yeah.
That was a good movie.
Fall Guy is a great movie.
Dallas walked out of that theater and was like, I could see you and Cam doing that. I was like, that would be pretty cool.
That would be really cool. If you guys haven't seen Fall Guy,
yeah,
it is fantastic.
Fall Guy is awesome.
They describe it. They have a little like pre-movie like thing where Ryan Gosling and the director like, talk to the camera, and they like kind of say like, this is a love letter to stuntmen.
That's exactly what it was.
It absolutely is. But I would argue it's more of it is also a love letter to just movie making in general.
Yep.
Because there are so many things of it that are just like, as someone who I haven't been on like a film set, you know, but
don't worry,
soon. But like I've been on sets. I've been on video sets. I understand how this stuff is run. And there was so much that I was like, you guys are nailing this.
Yeah.
And giving like commentary to it that like maybe would go over some people's heads.
Yeah.
But I mean, for people like us,
yeah, in the industry, yeah, and just the thought of that, if we were to ever make like films like that, that is like I won't say epitome, but that is like the guideline of how a story that I would want to tell, where it's like it takes something super practical and, you know, realistic, like took basically all the details of filming a movie and then filmed a movie about somebody filming a movie while having an entire love, action, you know, thrilling storyline on top of that. That just, the layers of that just blew my mind.
It was so good.
Yeah. And it was just shot so beautifully.
Yeah.
Every scene in that movie was like a piece of art. Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely gorgeous. And like, I didn't really know what to expect going into it, honestly.
Yeah, I didn't either. Dallas wanted to watch some
Challengers.
Still didn't even. Oh, that's the really like
the tennis one, the Zendaya tennis one.
The tennis one, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It still looked good.
I'm sure it is.
Yeah.
But like, we were more in.
Dallas was super excited to watch that one, and we didn't, but she still enjoyed the other one, so that's all that matters.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kept her. The house was happy after, so it's fine.
She will drag you back to see Challengers.
Yeah,
at some point.
we'll be there. Yeah, I know. But yeah. So this is super fun. That's the announcement. Purple Donut Studios. Yeah.
You were among the first to know.
Yeah. You are inaugural people. So if you didn't listen to this episode, you'll never hear this portion. But
we're gonna be. I mean, this episode, this show is basically going to. Well, it's going to become a Purple Donut Studios show.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like, I think a lot of what we talk about on here is going to end up being like, this is going to, in some ways, document our journey through this.
And another thing that we're going to probably hopefully start doing, which is I'm putting it out there to make it happen, right? Make us do it, is some behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah.
Behind the scenes videos and things of what we do.
Which, if you want to talk about something that is so much easier with two people.
I can believe that.
Because I can believe that. I have tried. And like, I have some stuff. There's a moment in the reel that we're working on.
Oh, your little time lapse.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Which that was like the best I was able to ever do for behind the scenes. Because when it's just you, setting stuff up, it's like you don't have time to think about
set your own stuff up and yeah.
So there was one point that I was able to like throw a GoPro in a corner while I was setting up a green screen shoot, and
I think I watch a lot of YouTubers that do it. Or not a lot of filmmakers that do behind the scenes on YouTube.
Yeah.
And it's impressive how they even manage to, I think they all like shoot on their phone. So it's nothing like,
probably, it's
not like we would pull out the Blackmagic and film it behind the scenes.
The Blackmagics will be working.
Yeah, they will be on the scene. But figuring out how we can balance that stuff. Like we talked about getting, not the, is it Insta360's like action camera or something like that? Yeah. We talked about that, briefly. You have a GoPro. So like,
yeah, we talked about the Insta360 for the 360 stuff.
Yeah. But don't they have an action camera?
They do. I
think we mentioned it.
Yeah, I think they have something like that. I had considered that. I went with the GoPro just because it had, the Hero 12 had a couple of features that I really liked.
Yeah.
And their like ecosystem is a little more mature.
Right. Yeah. Because it's been around forever.
Yeah. So like in terms of like accessories and stuff.
Yeah.
Like you can get GoPro stuff for everything.
A lot of people, I think they use their phone. So, I mean, there's always that option. The iPhone 15 Pro Max camera is not a slouch.
No, it is not.
Yeah. We can make that work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we got 2 of them.
We literally. So no excuses anymore.
Yeah. Give it a few more months. We'll be on the 16s.
Yeah, seriously.
Whatever that's going to do.
What could it do?
More dynamic range? I don't know. It was actually interesting to see. I actually need to show you this. I saw someone did a test of like, they were testing the dynamic range of iPhone cameras compared to like other more professional cameras, which like, I forget what the number that I said ours were. The Blackmagic 6Ks are something around like 12 and a half.
Yeah, I think you said 12
stops.
something. Yeah.
Yeah. The iPhone cameras are actually, the current ones are at about 12.
Oh, wow.
So they're pretty close. The sensor is nowhere near.
Yeah.
And like the glass is nowhere near. But like dynamic range, I think, is one of the bigger things that they could work on improving.
I mean, in theory, we could shoot all the stuff on the Blackmagic app if we wanted to.
Yeah. And then there's the new Final Cut camera app.
Dude,
which
that's something we'll dive into next time because that's a beast of itself.
I need to look into it.
I was going to say, I want to watch like more of it because the gist of the whole thing is like being able to control multiple angles and views of multiple phones or something like that is like the gist.
That's one of the big things.
Yeah. So it's like you can have a control center and then have multiple phones that are doing different things. Like you have people like replaces like the hardwired live stream setup essentially.
Like if we wanted to, we could record this podcast with 2 or 3 phones, all hooked up to an iPad.
Yep.
And just have that be it.
Yeah.
Like for something like that, I mean, don't get me wrong, I like how when we do video with the Blackmagic stuff for this.
If we could figure out to get it on the phone, get it off of there and make it work. Yeah, the phone angle.
I'm curious to see if Blackmagic's going to have some kind of response with their app.
Do they ever do that though? I haven't been in the Blackmagic ecosystem for long enough to know if they have like a response, like battle. Like, or do they just stay in their own lane and do their own thing?
They seem to kind of just do their own thing, but
which isn't bad.
I think that's
it's not bad.
Totally a good thing. But
do you think somebody buys Blackmagic?
Gosh,
like the Nikon Red thing?
I would be really surprised if someone did.
You don't think? Well, I guess Nikon doesn't have like a Cine line.
They don't have a Cine line. So yeah, Nikon, I think
wouldn't
Nikon,
make sense for Canon, wouldn't make sense for Sony.
They don't need to. And I think the other thing is that Blackmagic, if you buy Blackmagic, you're buying a lot more than just a camera company. Mm-hmm. Red, you're buying a camera company.
Yeah.
Blackmagic, you are buying a camera production switcher.
Yeah, switchers, yeah.
You're buying an editor.
Live stream stuff, editor, yeah.
All of this stuff. Like, they make a ton of stuff.
Do you know that I saw it in my settings? There's like Blackmagic has their own focus system.
Oh, you talking about the little like image, like where you can turn on the remote control?
Is that Is that what it is? Like,
so so that's
is it a real thing or is it just?
I don't think it is, because I have thought the same thing of like there's a little image that looks like they have like
it has their logo on it.
It has like a Blackmagic branded follow focus.
And it's
type
not
thing.
something that it's not like a style that I've seen.
No, but I've looked for it on their website.
Never
it
seen
doesn't
it.
seem to exist. I think they have it there just so that they can have like a representation of like this is what a remote from another company would look like, but we're not going to put an image of an actual brand on here. So yeah, I wish they would.
I saw that and I was like, my squirrel brain, I forgot about it 10 seconds later, but I was like, I wonder if they actually have like an ecosystem, and I've just been not looking at Blackmagic stuff.
No, I mean, Blackmagic has so much stuff easy to miss. Like they make 10 gig Ethernet switchers.
That's right. Yep.
Like, okay, sure.
Why?
Well, because the
B-roll.
And all the new cameras, like the Pixis, and all the new Ursas,
they have the 10 gig.
They have 10 gig Ethernet now.
Yeah, which is nuts.
What was you sent me an image because you were looking at the Blackmagic Cloud thing.
The monthly, oh man, how much storage was that?
Was it terabytes or was
petabytes?
It was
petabytes. I think it was like 4 petabytes of data or something on the cloud was like $45,000 a month or something like that. You said it wasn't in our budget, so
I did say that. Yes.
Yeah. So
sorry to throw a wet blanket over that.
This is why we're in this partnership. We have we didn't put our tiebreaker rule in our agreement.
Not yet.
We didn't think of one.
I like the coin flip. The coin flip's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what that means, though, right?
Because there's
if I say yes and you say no,
so there's a 50-50 chance
that we're gonna have 4 petabytes of
we're gonna have 4 petabytes of storage and have to like pay the equivalent of like a mid-range SUV every month.
The full price of
Yeah. My gosh.
Well, we'll do the coin flip and see what happens, you know?
May the odds be ever in your favor.
Oh, you want it to be, huh? Well, yeah, that would be a terrible financial decision.
It would be.
Yeah. One day, maybe.
One day, maybe.
I hope we don't need that much storage.
Oh, I hope we do. Because I'm a data hoarder.
Not a cloud storage, though.
No,
I'd have a server or a, a data center.
Do like a Linus Tech Tips style petabyte project.
Yeah.
No.
His stuff breaks a lot, though.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
But I've seen the videos. It's because they do things really jankily.
Yeah. And that's probably on purpose. It has to be for show.
I would imagine so.
Like that, I wouldn't spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on all that equipment and then not purposely set it up wrong.
Yeah.
Like it for content. Like I would totally purposely do things that just didn't make sense so that I have to come back and fix them later.
Yeah. The stuff that they have that is like mission critical, like the Wannock server and like the whatever they call their big archive, the Vault server and all that stuff, that seems to work fine. That seems to be pretty solid.
If it didn't, I think they would have problems.
Yes. There's one video I go back to every now and then. You might have seen it where they had like a cascading drive failure in their main media server.
Yep.
And they have a video of them like going through, trying to troubleshoot it, trying to fix it, going through data recovery and all this stuff. I watch that video sometimes. I will rewatch it because A, I find it fascinating, and B, I'm a very empathetic person, so the feeling of relief when they finally get their data back is like, oh, like
that's what you came for.
Just mainline that into my arm. It's a great feeling because I've had that of like, oh no, all of my data is gone, and like something is broken, and then you're able to get it back.
That's my entire life with IT stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've always been the can you fix it person. And when I fix it, I'm like, that was nice.
That was a good feeling.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Jeez.
But
all right.
We have some cool projects coming up.
We do.
Like we just sat in a 2.5 hour breakfast the other day with one of our projects, and that could be really cool.
Yeah.
I was going through some of the stuff they gave us.
Good stuff.
Pretty cool stuff.
Yeah.
Like
I'm excited for that.
Like so organized and detailed. Like it makes our life easy essentially. But yeah, we've got a good story with that.
I'm excited. I'm excited for that. I'm excited for all the marketing stuff we're going to be doing. I'm excited for documentary stuff.
Yep.
I'm excited to get into more scripted stuff.
I'm excited to post our own stuff.
Yeah.
And show that we're here.
Yeah. That's the big thing is like we're about to finally actually be able to like talk
it's kind
about
of funny.
Live.
Kind of funny that we've booked things and like we're working as Purple Donut Studios and it hadn't been a thing like officially yet.
Yeah. I mean, some of that is down to the fact that like both of us had these relationships going into it.
Yeah.
And like, you know, you had the stuff with Wiser and I had Harris Makers, and like a lot of, you know, pretty much all of my current clients with Harris Makers are going to end up being Purple Donut clients. So like we kind of already are coming into it with 2 people's worth of momentum in the space already, and 2 people's existing networks of people, and then combining them, like it's a huge, like we're not starting from zero.
Yeah, it's not zero at all.
It's like we're merging onto the freeway at speed.
Yeah. Which is nuts.
Yeah.
And nice.
Yeah. It's super exciting. I mean, I've done the whole going from zero, true zero, and it sucks.
Yeah, it's not fun or easy.
Yeah. The networking and the people are huge.
Yeah, that's going to be big. When's the next networking event?
I think there's one tomorrow night. I think we've got a business card exchange tomorrow
I'm
night.
busy.
Yeah. I'll be
We've got an event at Citizens Ballroom, actually. Yeah.
Another one. Fun.
Just to sit there and have music play in the background kind of thing.
DJing is the word you're looking for.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's not DJing. Nope.
Babysitting.
There's music. Yeah.
There you go.
There's music. Dang, that sucks. Where's that one at?
I think this is at the Carpet Place.
It's in the evening?
Yeah.
Dang.
I think that's tomorrow. Maybe it's on Thursday.
Thursday would be better.
I'll see if it's Thursday. I'll look at my calendar after this. I've been very much in a one day at a time mode lately.
Yeah. Yeah, this weekend was like, felt like it was forever.
It really did. Yeah, because I was shooting on Saturday.
Yep.
And then on Sunday.
I had a DJ event in the morning, and then photo stilled a wedding with which they look great, by the way.
You took stills with the Blackmagic. It is
took
doable.
Stills with the Blackmagic. No flash, no extra lighting. They look great.
I'm sure.
Yep. Yeah, I'm actually pretty impressed. We got halfway through, and I sat down next to Malachi. I was like, I think I'm gonna plug the drive in just to see, what's happening. And what everybody said online was so incorrect. It took B-raw stills instead of DNG or whatever.
Oh, interesting.
Raw images. Yeah. So I'm in Premiere editing the color of these photos, and I'm gonna have to go in and render each one as a still.
Oh no.
Yeah. It's fine.
Could Photoshop open them?
I didn't try Photoshop.
Photoshop might take them if you have the thing installed.
I tried Lightroom, and Lightroom didn't like it at all.
Interesting.
Yeah. But everybody online said that the stills would be saved as DNG, maybe.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, and it didn't. They're B-raw.
But
Each photo is 30 megabytes.
Dang.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that might be something that is like maybe they used to be saved as DNGs, like in a previous software update.
Or my 6K is just trash, and imagine carrying a Pixis around and doing stills. My rig looked cool though.
Oh, your rig looked awesome.
Did not look like a photography rig.
And I can absolutely see you carrying a Pixis around for stills.
Thank you. I would. Absolutely would. just to say that I was doing it.
Yeah. I mean, let's be real. When you and I have kids, we're going to be carrying around Pocket by that point 8Ks, 12Ks.
Yeah. A Pocket 12K would be sick.
It would be pretty sick. I feel like that's coming in the next couple of years.
It has to. They've got the 12K. They got 12K going.
Yeah. Our home movies are going to be the best looking home movies ever.
Dude, it's not even funny. It's not even funny. But cool. Look at us. Almost an hour.
Hey, we're under an hour for the first time, maybe ever.
And maybe never again.
And maybe never again.
Next time we'll have real topics.
We're going to have a lot more to talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah. But this has been our big announcement thing. Thank you guys so much for being on this journey with us. We're excited to have you along for the ride. PurpleDonutStudios.com. Go there now. If it redirects to HarrisMakers.com, you're too early.
Yeah, too early. Try again later.
Yeah, try. Yeah. Please try again later.
But we do have socials. So Instagram, Facebook. The YouTube is there, but there's no channel. So it will be there.
Yeah.
Instagram's there. I think I said that.
It's still in progress.
It's all there.
No.
Yeah. So follow it. If you don't follow it, I don't really care. It's fine. We don't need you. Love you.
Well, I'm getting very mixed signals here.
It's fine.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. You just it's fine.
It's fine.
I don't care. We don't need that one follow.
No. We're not angry. We're just disappointed.
Yeah. Disappointed. That's the word. But really don't care at the same time. So
yeah. We're just going to keep doing what we're doing.
Yeah. So
and that is all you can ask of us.
Absolutely. But this was fun. Another Follow Focus.
Another Follow Focus in the bag. Now a Purple Donut Studios production.
Boom.
Boom. Thank you guys so much for tagging along, and we'll see you next week with even more brand news.
Stuff
and things.
Bye.
Bye.